top secret. We're all aware that there are three branches of government in the United States. In response to 9/11, a fourth branch has emerged. It is protected from public scrutiny by extraordinary secrecy. Top secret America.
This is a closed community, and since 9/11, it's becoming more so. The money spigot was just opened after 9/11, and nobody dared say, I don't think we should be spending that much.
It has become so big, and the lines of responsibility are so blurred, that even our nation's leaders don't have a handle on it. Where is it? It's being built from coast to coast, hidden within some of America's most familiar cities and neighborhoods. In Colorado, Nebraska, in Texas, in Florida, in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. Top Secret America includes hundreds of federal departments and agencies operating on 1,300 facilities around this country. They contract the services of nearly 2,000 companies. In all, more people than live in our nation's capital have top secret security clearance.
It's, again, the size, the lack of transparency, and the cost. And if we don't get it right, the consequences are gigantic.
Let's take a look just at a couple of the graphics and the charts that they presented in this series of articles on this secret American government. We have, for example, if we can have this one, we have 45 government organizations in the United States government dealing directly with some aspect of the war on terrorism. At the next one. And here's a list of government organizations, in fact, that are involved in that. It's, as you can see, it's quite extensive. And you see the output of this secret government. Over 850,000 people holding top secret security clearances, which, as they point out, is considerably more than the entire population of Washington, D.C., and so on. So those are the numbers. And beyond that, let me just note, referring to an earlier point, that the American public, its views of Islam have gone down. The American public, as you can see from these two charts, is less inclined to have a favorable view of Islam 8 years after 9/11. And the idea that Islam is a peaceful religion is less widely accepted, and the idea that Islam is a religion that encourages violence has actually increased over this period of time. So I think that, as you can imagine, has many ramifications, both domestically and for the United States in the Muslim world. Where do we come out finally? I mean, the bottom line, is it over? Al-Qaeda may be over, but I think the problem is not over. It's probably not over. The enemy has, as it were, metastasized. We've seen that there are many spin-offs. As Jason Burke observes in his book, what we've seen is not just one war, but a whole series of smaller conflicts and wars, many of which continue. And the basic grievances that gave bin Laden and his colleagues outsized prominence and support and protection, many of them are still there. The question of Western arrogance, of intruding, intervening, and trying to corrupt sacred Muslim space, this is still a concern, and not just of radical extremists. The Palestine conflict, which has soured America's reputation throughout this region only seems to get more and more inflamed, and that obviously creates conditions that may encourage the same kind of problem that we've seen over the last 10 years. So it may be encouraging, but only in a modest way, to see that the Arab uprisings that we've seen in the last almost year have, in a sense, captured the mass audiences that seems now to have eluded the Islamists. But those the people that are doing those uprisings are not necessarily going to be more moderate or more friendly or more compliant with American designs across the Middle East. And I'll leave it at that with those somewhat pessimistic final comments. Thank you. And if we could move now, I think, to Dr.